bossing over. I've gone up the stairs. Your dad's there, suit on, immaculate. And the doorman, I forget his name.
Was it Welsh Allen or something? Wasn't it? What?
But he was one of those that went to either Victoria or Piccadilly Station and put the craze back.
That's it, with my dad and that, and they all came
They
down
all
from
went
London.
there, yeah.
And I remember watching it from across the
Right,
road.
I remember him
64.
telling, I remember him telling me, and I was in awe.
I heard my dad talking about
Right.
it, and I was only young then, up and coming.
Yeah.
So I got Chris Jammer,
Right.
then we sneaked down to Manchester and watched.
Joking.
Yeah, watched all the firm come from
That's
Manchester
right.
to meet them all on
That's
Victoria
right.
Station, put the craze back on the train to
The
London.
craze back because they came to take over,
Yeah,
didn't
they
they?
came to take over the
And they
protection
put back
rackets.
up, yeah.
They weren't having it, the Manchester firm weren't having
Well,
it.
it was.
So what's your dad's name then?
Chick Taylor.
Okay.
He's called the Black Prince. Patrick Albert Chick Taylor was called. Yeah.
Black Prince.
Black Prince, that's what it's called, yeah.
Which bit of Brazil is he from?
He's from, near Georgetown, he's called, where he's from.
British
originally.
Guiana.
Yeah, British Guiana. Georgetown he's from. My sister's going there next year, sorry.
Right, I start everybody off with,
Right.
tell us your first night down the Reno.
The night, I must have been about 14, I think, and I'd already been a nutter for a couple of years, up and coming.
So you've got to tell me what being a nutter for a couple of years up and coming means.
I was involved in everything.
It means about 8.
Yeah, I was involved in everything. And I remember, I'll tell you what time when it was when they first bought them. Do you remember the little tape recorders they used to bring out? The Walkmans?
Yeah.
When they first come out,
Right.
they had one, right? My daddy gave it me,
Right.
right? Because my dad owned nightclubs on the nightclub in town, and he's well known, yeah? And I know he used to go down to the Reno gambling, right? So I heard him talk about it, so I wanted to go down there because we was living in Gorton then.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of friends from, Moss Side and that. So I remember coming down, and I remember sitting on this table, and it must be getting to about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was tired. I hadn't stayed out in that kind of scene and smoke and all that for years. And I remember falling asleep, and the next minute I see this black hand coming over trying to nip the Walkman. And I grabbed his hand, and you did. I won't mention his name. Anyway, I said to him, do you know my daddy's? And I mentioned my dad's name, and I never had no bit of trouble after that, you know what I mean? Because everybody knew my dad.
Yeah.
I remember that was my first night. I always remember the Walkman.
Oh.
And I was with Chris Jammer and Derek Vance. And
I was still doing
I
my
can't
homework
come
with
over.
14.
Yeah, I remember. That was the first time.
Who was on the door? Martin.
Larty was on the door, yeah.
Yes.
Phil.
Phil, yeah, and
Yeah,
Cole.
yeah, Cole.
Beulah.
Yeah.
My first
And
time I was 15 and a half.
Go on,
He used to
tell-
follow me everywhere.
Yeah. Oh.
Of course, we murders.
I wasn't involved in anything.
We wanted to be.
I was too stupid.
Too
But
grown
because
up.
I had big brothers, I was always looking up to my brothers and mimicking them
Yeah.
as a young
Wanted
person.
to fight everybody. Oh, my mate,
He wanted the
say,
boy.
Robert, will you tell your younger brother, if you want your brother, I'd stab him. He's attacking all the so-called chaps.
To get a name for
he was like a
yourself.
bull terrier, man. But he wasn't like that, you know what I mean? I kept saying to him, just be yourself, man. But, young, innit? So,
No, but some of us don't get to know how to be ourselves for a long time.
No,
Well,
Go on.
there's a reason around that because
Go on.
no matter where I went, especially in the places where there was mixed race and coloured people and they were partying, people would stare at me like I did something wrong. And it used to make me paranoid. And it wasn't because of anything that I did, it's because he precedes me. So he spent 7 years,
Right.
going to these clubs, but he was already on the street doing his thing.
And they saw
Yeah.
you.
I was still really a mama's boy.
Oh.
And then I would go out and
Me.
people would confront me and be staring at me and
Alright.
I could feel the aggression in them.
Right.
And for me, being a young boy,
It's my brother, Robert.
all I could do, I always said it's Robert, but they kept staring at me and I'm thinking, hold on a minute. So on many occasions, I felt I had to defend myself and sometimes it
I
got
can
to some
understand
serious fights. But it wasn't because of anything that I wanted to do or be, it's just that we looked so similar,
Yeah.
especially in a seedy club, somebody would, smoking and
Yeah,
dancing
there he
and
is, the
going-
bastard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I spent many years having to look at people and say, no,
It's the big brother.
I'm Vance, I'm a
Yeah.
good guy.
I'm a good
That's
guy.
what you say
Yeah.
for it. Because I was lively. I mean, I didn't give a flying whatever. Did I?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I wasn't scared of nobody. I didn't give a if what I did. I was getting it. End of story. Full stop. And that's how I was, no matter who it was. I didn't think about consequences because I was willing to go all the way. So they had to be willing to go all the way. Not that many people who were willing to go that distance. And that's how it was. Now I'm an old man, gone quiet.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
But you didn't you move to Middleton?
Yeah, I moved up to Middleton.
Yeah, because you had your house in Middleton, didn't you?
Yeah, we moved to Middleton.
So
Vance, you didn't finish your first
Sorry.
night down the Reno.
Well, I said I was about 50 and a half, and it was a struggle for me to try and be mature at that age and being paranoid, because my paranoia wasn't set from myself, it was that everybody was looking at me in a way like they probably looked at him.
Yeah.
And I didn't know why, because I never met these people ever.
Yeah.
I only knew a few of my brother's close friends, and they were all right,
Yeah.
as a young person. But on my first night, when I went down there, I was sat in a corner, keeping me back to the wall, and I didn't really drink, but I liked to dance. You always used to see me dancing.
Yeah.
So I always tried to be myself, but I said it was difficult. And then I seen several guys walk in with baseball bats, and then just let loose in the club.
That's
They were
your
looking.
first night?
That was my first night. They were
Wow.
looking. They were looking for somebody. I don't know who.
Yeah.
But for me, growing up with my older brothers, so many situations that you come across that you're either a person, an individual in yourself, and you stand up for yourself and keep yourself from that trouble or step away from that trouble rather than doing the wrong thing. And it was hard because all around me, everybody I knew was associated with him. Everybody in Manchester that I ever knew of him.
Yeah. Robert, are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest lad, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got an older sister. But
Right.
I'm the oldest lad, you know what I mean?
So you're the
I'm the baby.
trendsetter.
Well, I think what it was with me, because my dad was well respected, right, for the right reasons, by the way, yeah, I went about it the wrong way, because I wanted that respect, so I thought, wanted a nice car, I used to go and make the money to get it, right? It didn't matter how I made the money, I was getting the money for the car. So I went about it the wrong way. It was only later on in life that I started realising I'd gone about it the wrong way, and I could have quite achieved more doing it the right way if I'd have put as much energy into it.
Right. What made you? What did the difference?
I think 3.5 years in prison done the
Right.
difference, yeah, because it gave me, not because it wasn't a prison itself, it gave me time to think and
Yeah.
to analyse myself. Where I used to live that fast outside, I was always on the go,
Yeah.
always. I never actually analysed myself proper, So it wasn't until I went to prison that I'd probably been in prison probably 5 years when they could let me out and I've never gone back, like I haven't never gone back since, yeah. But it took me that long to analyse myself and realise I had as many faults as everybody else. Maybe not the same faults, but
Yeah.
faults all the same, positives and negatives. And it just took me a long time, basically.
How old was you, Robert, when that happened? When you
Uh,
started to be able to analyse yourself?
probably 44, 45. When I started, proper changing. And then I come out and got involved in something I would never normally have got involved in, which took care of a big chunk of the next 5 years of my life,
Which
6
is
years.
you can't. What did you get involved?
Well, I got involved in drugs.
Oh.
and
okay.
It wasn't me. You understand
So
what
you,
I'm saying?
so you analysed yourself in prison,
Yeah, but
and then you came out and
What
got
ever
involved.
happened was when I came out after 3.5 years, I wasn't on probation or licence or anything.
You just kicked
So
them out.
I just kicked me out of jail.
Yeah.
Right.
So I even though I wanted to go the right way, I had nothing or nobody to help me.
Yeah.
So then,
He was on point with himself.
yeah,
Yeah.
Person.
I
Yeah.
just need a bit of direction.
You got to
Yeah.
understand that, Linda. That you're in jail 13 years. Right.
Most of
And
them
most
cat
people, right.
I've got to ask you why you was in jail for 13.
Grand robbery, but mostly
Oh,
cat
okay.
But when people come out of jail,
Okay.
when people come out of jail, they get probation, they get a worker, they get people to talk to them and take them through the next 20 years.
Transition,
Because
transitional
they
period.
Yeah.
reckon every year you do in jail, it takes you about 18 months to adjust on the outside.
Yeah.
He did 13 years, kicked him out with a rail ticket or whatever, a bus fare,
Yeah,
bus
that's what they did.
ticket, right? And he was on his own. You know.
Why
and
did
it's-
they do that for
Well,
Robert?
Because he was Robert Taylor.
Really?
I can't say
It was like, what it was, right? There was a big dispute going on because I got a 12-year sentence and then I
Yeah.
escaped and they gave me another 81 consec. But when I got a 12-year sentence under the old system,
Yeah.
which meant you'd done 2/3 of it,
Yeah.
when they brought the new system in, which was when I had escaped and got another 80-month consec on top of the 12,
Yeah.
out of that I should have only done 9 months out of 18.
Yeah.
Do half, right? But the prison system kept saying to me, there's only one warrant, you're doing 30.5 years. I said, no, I'm not, I'm doing 12 years under the old system, and 18 months is 9 months. And this went on for a good 18 months, and I was in a hospital in Hammersmith, handcuffed to the bed, because I had a stomach problem with 2 screws with me. And the beeper went, and Screw went to the phone, come back and said, you're getting released, took the handcuffs off, walked out the hospital and left me there. That was it. I didn't even go back to my clothes in the middle of London.
What
amazing.
doesn't
It's
make any
unbelievable.
sense?
No, that's what they did.
But,
That's what they did.
But aftercare from prison doesn't make sense. Does it?
No, it doesn't.
Make sense. You know, at the end of the day, you are, even when you come out to them, you know, you are what
So it was
they
all
think,
scary to me. You know, it was like, I remember this girl gave me £20 to go in the shop and get something. I come out, I thought they'd had me off
Right.
because I was getting nothing back. You know,
Oh,
things
yeah,
like that. And like
of course,
millions of
12
traffic going
years.
past me and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And thinking, wow, what's going on here? And then I got people going up to me saying, Robert, I know where there's this, I know where there's that. And this went on for years, you know. I know if you come with me, I'm going to get it. And I said, I'm not interested. But I
Yeah.
wasn't.
And that's
But
Yeah.
they could only see the old Robert Taylor because that's all they remembered.
Yeah,
But it was
of
me
course.
having this big fight in front of me saying,
Bloody
yeah,
hell,
I wouldn't
man.
mind having X amount of £1,000 in my pocket.
That's-
But
That's where me and Robert became close,
Yeah.
because I saw that every day people were like, Robert, come on, I need you, and I was like, you know, mind your own business. Robert's not interested in doing this, doing that, doing the other.
Yeah.
You know, and people just thought, you know, and you'd go out, I remember I was in town, and I had this talk with this guy, and the first name he mentioned was Robert Taylor. My mate's Robert Taylor. Him not knowing,
we're best mates.
we're best mate, not
Oh,
only that.
right.
Not only that, I'm meeting him in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I've said
right.
nothing.
So he's threatening
So
you
I've said-
with Robert
But
Taylor.
everything was,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I'll get Robert
Right.
Taylor, I'll get Robert Taylor.
Even as his brother, everywhere I went, growing up, because my mother went to Yorkshire when I was like 14 years of age, but Manchester's in my blood.
Yeah.
And I kept going to Manchester, but everywhere I kept going, everybody knew him.
Yeah.
When I was younger and I got into trouble myself, everybody I met in the prison system knew him. But I didn't have that fire.
Yeah.
That fire was subdued by my mother, so I only messed about trying to be a criminal, which I
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah.
But he had a reputation that everywhere that I went, they knew him, and I always thought we were alike. Not he was a
So
big,
Vance, did
he was a
you?
big man.
Must have been hard for him.
Yeah, he was a big. He,
Yeah.
he had a big reputation. Dad had a massive reputation. Then it was him. Everybody knew him.
Let me ask you
So,
this
go on.
question. Was it when you've done your time? I've not asked you that, I don't know why. Was the Reno still open when you came out? Was it shut?
No, it just it was open for a very short. I came out in the 3rd of January 1998.
Right.
No, so it
a
was
few
shut.
years.
It was
Yeah,
shut,
It was
yeah.
shut there.
Yeah.
So you missed a lot of it.
I missed a hell of a lot. I seen it. I was there when it was,
Yeah,
when it
yeah,
was
of
going
course.
on.
Yeah.
You know, I had a bad incident there, didn't I? When I was looking for a friend of ours, he was my army friend.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I went down to Reno with a firm. I was all tooled up and everything.
Yeah.
And Lassie going, what's happening? What's happening? I said, don't worry. And I remember that was the last time I ever went in there, because after that I ended up getting 30.5 years.
You got to tell me where you did your armed robbery. Or is that illegal?
No, it was in Cheetah Mill. It was in Cheetah.
Right.
That was just, they tried and framed me, Linda, for 31 armed robberies and 2 gangland killings, right? That's the truth,
Oh, wow.
right? They ended up convicting me for 1 and giving me 30.5 years, yeah. That's what happened.
This is how much they wanted him. Right.
It's all about the ID.
He went on an ID. Listen, Robert Taylor, you look at him now, right? 3 Chinese. Right. What was it?
3 fat whites
3 fat
and a
whites
Nigerian
and a
black.
Nigerian black. Pick Robert Taylor out.
And I caught the copper
Yeah.
in the room, right? I swear.
Sorry for laughing.
No, it's not. It wasn't that day.
You know,
In
right?
fact,
I just struggled to pick him out.
You don't know this, Peter. It was through that parade why they brought out the 1984, the Devlin Report on Identification Parade in England,
Yeah.
right? England,
Yeah,
Wales,
that's right.
because of the way it was, because what happened was the investigating officer who was in the room shouldn't have been in the room by all the law.
Yeah.
I should have been appraised similar looking people, and I caught him indicating where I was. I was at number 4, I seen him go like that, and I thought, what's he doing? And when I moved to number 5, that's when I got onto it, Peter. I seen him do that, and they did nothing of it. But when I've changed positions to number 5, and I see him go like that now, when he's full hand, I've gone, wow, excuse me, and that was it. That was what gave me my bird. That was it.
But can you imagine? 3 fat white guys and 3 Chinese and Nigerian.
I'm sorry.
You know what? I'll look at it, Linda. I tell you what.
Nigerian,
Right.
like sleep
Yeah.
with him from.
And I was skinny then.
Yeah.
But I look at it like this, actually what they did to save my life. Because the way I was then, I didn't give a flying buff. And either somebody would have shot me, or I'd have been doing 30 rec for shooting somebody. Because that's how it was. So I look at it, all the things I got away with, and I got away with a hell of a lot. Yeah, that was payback time.
Yeah.
So I didn't make me bitter. I
Yeah.
made it learn me a lesson.
Yeah.
Right, which was for myself to better my own self, better my knowledge, realise what's important and what's not important. Things what were important then ain't important to me now.
Yeah.
As long as I'm at home and I pay my bills and I've got food in my cupboard and my missus is happy and my future wife's happy and my grandkids are happy, sweet, I'm happy as Larry, you realise what things are meaningful in life.
I totally agree. Why did what meant was meaningful as... You know what was meaningful to us back then?
Yes.
Why was that meaningful?
Because we was always trying to, because of you said before, because we was mixed race, right? We was battles going on with the whites, with the blacks, right? They wouldn't accept us, they wouldn't accept us. We wanted to stamp our own authority on it, and that is why we went down the lanes we went down, because we were going to say, well, we're not taking crap from you, we'll do our own thing, and you'll respect me either through respect or through fear, one of the two. That was my philosophy in life then.
And I think people need to know, especially white people need to know, that when we went down the Reno, right, the Nile, which was next door, which was Jamaican, right, we had murders with them.
Murders.
Listen, didn't know this.
We had
years before they accepted us.
Listen, they wouldn't accept us.
No, we didn't, man.
We were mongrels to them.
Yes.
We were mongrels to the Jamaicans.
It was.
That's, and then we came out with this word Jamoke.
Yeah.
We were breeds, we were mongrels.
Is there an incident you can tell me
There's
about?
loads of them,
Honestly,
man.
I'm a girl, you see, life looks different to me.
The knives that were pulled out on us, the fights we had outside the Reno, Jamaican.
I didn't know that.
But I remember in your younger days, you had a lively, confident, happy, bubbly self, right? You was always enjoying yourself when you was out. And you said about the race. We are a different race to most other people because we have a blend.
Yeah.
And that blend then becomes something else, which what we are. You say about that identity, what you experience as a female.
Yeah.
I experience a lot of confrontation because of, they couldn't distinguish what I am.
Right.
And rather than
you get people
asking a question, they would insult me. And
you get somebody,
treat me
a
like
white friend.
Why?
Wouldn't you? You get somebody, a white friend going like that. Look at that black bastard there. And I go, what are you on about? I'm a black bastard, mate. Don't call him a black bastard. But you're not, Robert. You're different. I said, I'm not different at all. If I'm having an argument, you call me a black bastard.
Which is worse.
Which is worse, man. So we had all that confrontation all the time.
Yeah.
It was horrible, wasn't it?
Pete, tell me about the fights outside.
Well, I don't know when I got on it, but I'm not saying all the Jamaicans. Because a lot of Jamaicans went down.
My dad's Jamaican.
Right.
Go on.
I'm not saying
But there's an element.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something about my dad, who was Nigerian. Came over with Mr. Finney, Phil Reno, Larty. They all came over together. And my sister, when she was growing up, her first boyfriend was this kid, Jamaican kid. Now, to me, he was just a kid.
Yes.
Oh,
no colour. Yeah, no colour, man.
My dad went off. To my sister, you're not going out with Jamaican, you're not doing this.
Lazy people.
And I thought, how many times have white fathers said that to white girlfriends about me? And I couldn't understand it, And in the end, she married a Nigerian and it went, get out up. So, but I felt sorry for Tony. That was his name.
And do you know when I found out about colour, Peter, right? Because we was probably one of the only mixed race around where we were brought up in West Gorges.
Yeah, I bet you bloody were. I bet you bloody were.
We we did have the Sadies down by Ardent Green, but that was the rough area. Anyway, right, no, but listen to this is serious, right? I remember we used to be fighting all the time, yeah? Even the Sadies would come down to our area for us lot to go and fight the white folk, yeah? And this went on. And when I really got on it was when they started fighting at Bellevue. They used to meet every week at Scooby-Doo. And it'd be like loads of whites or loads of blacks and mixed race. And I remember getting off the bus like that once, go to get off the bus, and I'm looking about 300 white guys there. Yeah. I stepped right back on it like that. I got off the next stop, wherever all that kind was, you know what I mean? But that used to go on all the time. It was a normal, every week thing.
I mean, we had clubs, didn't we? We had clubs like Genevieve.
Yeah, Genevieve.
And Robert was saying, you know, you'd go to get in and he'd say your afro.
Yeah, and Billy Williams.
Yeah,
Billy Williams.
Billy Williams, he was mixed race.
Billy
right?
Williams.
He had to work there, he had to adhere to the rules.
Yeah, that's how it was in them days. You had an afro, wet it and pass it down.
And I used to
Otherwise you
say,
ain't getting in.
what's my afro going to do? Jump off and start fighting people? You know, but then it was the afro cone.
Yeah.
You can use them as a weapon.
That's right.
And it was like...
Any excuse it used to be.
It was, you know, I do remember that.
Any
It
excuse.
was, man.
Any
You know,
excuse.
you're thinking cheap. Who are you talking to, you know? And then you wondered why the doors got blew off and things like that, you know.
But just getting
By
back
Victor's lot.
to us half-casts. I mean, I use the word half-cracker. But I'm going to tell you this. Vance was mentioning that we're mixed race, half-caste, half-cracker, whatever you want to say, breed, whatever. I'm happy with any of them, right? We're more, or I speak for myself, I tend to be more, because I'm born in England, and my mother's English.
It's obviously.
I tended to be more English and more, and especially being in flicks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when I said on the last time, when I went down Alley Road, I remember sticking my head out of the car, my dad's car, thinking, where are all these black people come from?
Wow.
Well, hang on a minute, I don't remember showing my passport to get in here. You know, it was Alley Road when all the shops were on, and I was only, I don't know, 6 or 7, and I was gobsmacked, and I was a bit. Hang on a minute, you know, I'm the only black people here, aren't we? You know, I need to get back to Flixton.
It's your own territory.
But Flixton is fucking
Right. So, they used to call us the hair bear ones because we had big blonde gold afros.
Oh, you did.
Big blonde gold afros we had. Massive, because Mum was blonde, right?
Oh,
big
yeah.
blonde gold afros. They used to call us the hair bear. There used to be a cartoon thing on the television. The hair bear.
Yeah. So you talk about that character, like, we are mixed race, and we do have to adopt the society we're in, doesn't matter where you are. But even though my mother was English and my dad was Brazilian, we have a character of our own.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
That's
mean?
right, individual.
Of our own, what we feel is our own culture. And I'm mixed race, that's it. I'm a blend of this, I'm a blend of that. I can't distinguish.
I'm a human person, human race person.
Yeah.
That's
You adopt
it. End of story.
some British characteristics and qualities, but I also adopt some Brazilian. But I also adopt my own, so...
No, we talk different to each other.
Yeah.
I think what
When we're together, we know each other. Somehow, we know.
You're dead right, Linda. When we're together,
somehow we just know.
Well, natural.
I think when we're together, I think we're more...
At home.
Not only that, we're more on our colour side. Don't you think?
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like, yo, you're alright, Robert, they shake hands and this, that and the other. I don't do that in Flixton. Alright, David. Alright, Steve.
Yeah, because we're a warm breed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Very warm.
That's what I'm saying.
And we've got a similar sense of humour as well. We laugh at the oddest things.
Yeah, we do, don't we? That's
And I think that's our black parents' side. You know, well, you know, the handshake and the hug and this, that and the other, and you know, that's ours.
That's ours. Yeah. My dad wasn't like that.
No, my dad was very, very upright.
My dad was upright.
British.
Right.
Was it?
Well,
my dad was. I must be honest.
He come from British
He
was very up. You know, he's in the RAF.
Most of our dads were. Most of our dads were. Well,
that's it. Yeah. We had a bad time. How did our parents have a bad time? Look at that.
A lot of racial conflicts back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Yes.
Especially for people who had different distinction.
Yeah.
If you wasn't one of the mill workers or the factory workers, and you wanted to be somebody.
Yeah, exactly. You had to have a certain air.
You had to have a strength.
Hold yourself above.
So my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, so my dad
he was a pleasant person, but he wouldn't take anybody messing
No,
around.
he
and he
wouldn't
didn't like
mess about.
stupid people. But
Very
he adopted,
smart man.
he
Very,
adopted
very
that with
smart.
all us.
Yeah.
But because he was the oldest boy in the family, when he used to see my dad going out and coming home from the club with like 10 grand, he'd say, well, I want some of that. He's only a young man.
I
Yeah.
15, 16. He's only
I
a
did,
young
but I
man.
ain't
I'm
going
still a
back
baby
no
on my
way.
dad's knee.
Hang on a minute. Your dad came out of the Bossa with 10 grand. How come I didn't know about that?
You were still a young man.
With his soul stick, by the way.
Yeah.
I remember this with my dad, right? I thought I was a right bad boy. I remember having a shotgun when I must have been 14. When I first started going I started at a very early age being a bad boy, right? And I remember I'd done something wrong, and I knew my dad had told my mum. Right, my dad did not mess about, right? The first time I ever put my hand up to my dad like that, he knocked me clean out with a slap. Bang! I woke up like with a big handprint on my hand like that. Yeah, my son don't. What it was, he gave me some money to go and buy some pants, and I went and bought. Remember them Skinners?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
My son ain't going around.
Skinners?
Yeah.
Big jeans out here like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
My son ain't going around like no clown. He just whips off like that with a knife. But slap me because I put my hand up to him, right? Yeah. That's the first and only time I ever done that.
Weightlifting champion, boxing
Yeah,
champion.
serious, yeah.
He was a proper man. He was a gentleman.
Yeah, he was a gentleman, but he was proper
I didn't know
man.
that.
Yeah,
He didn't mess about.
Yeah.
I said, we
I've
all.
got paper cutters at home with him.
Because I remember him, he
He
wasn't
lightweight
very tall, was he?
No,
But he was
stocky.
broad, stocky.
Yeah.
My son is identical
Right,
to him.
okay.
Same,
Chinese,
yeah.
with Chinese
Right.
twang to it.
Yeah.
But as I said, it's the character. It's the. I say it's the mix, the blood.
Yeah, it's the blood,
We talk
yeah.
about this character.
I call it the roll.
We do have a lot of fire, but I think we're more reserved where we can hold it.
And that's
Yeah.
from our mum's side.
Yeah.
So that's why you're
Yeah.
people.
So
I think a lot of
Yeah.
us at that time though was quite mental.
Well, I was.
You know, as and I think loads of us was quite
Because
That's
mental.
crazy.
Yeah.
You're trying to. Because there wasn't mixed. A lot of us mixed race people about,
Mm.
or we wasn't in much contact. with
Yeah,
them
exactly.
At an early age, we had to adopt the family culture and ways of being. My father was very strict. My mother was even more stricter. And we were a big family. When we went out, my dad ensured that we all dressed the same, shirt and tie, at a very early age,
Yes.
to the age of 11 when
Fine
he passed
in the
away.
Yeah.
Fighting in the
Send
air.
it down to Duggan on Princess Road.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Reno,
Yeah.
I mean the Ritz, he's taking
Yeah.
his tap dancing and everything.
Yeah.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
So he intended you to be.
Yeah, he was trying to take away from the
Yeah.
shit.
He was
Yeah.
big as you lot.
Yeah.
Well, my
Sad
dad,
dance.
but my dad worked hard, man. Remember, my dad was my dad was a doorman, started off, right? Then he became club manager, then he was the first black man to own a
What
nightclub in
manager?
town. Club manager.
Club manager.
And then he became the first black man to own a nightclub in the middle.
So he's
of
probably
white,
ambitious.
predominantly
Yeah.
white,
Yeah.
He's
club,
ambitious.
you know.
Because that must take some doing.
Well, yeah, and he had a lot of respect, even
Yeah.
because when I started getting in trouble when I was
Oh,
young,
yeah,
I used to
that's-
get chief of police coming to the house to talk to me about getting in trouble,
Okay.
right? Because he respected my dad,
Right.
you know. And then there was a time when you couldn't come because I'd gone a bit too far. But
Yeah.
that's how it was. But my dad had a lot of respect, but he earned that respect, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get you can get respect after a while, but you can lose it quickly, you know.
Well, don't you remember the Freemans? The Freemans.
Yeah, someone else was talking about him yesterday.
Well, their dad was, and again, the Tiger Freeman, their dad,
Yeah.
Tiger Freeman. Right. Now, how he got the name Tiger Freeman was the police went to the caravan,
Yeah.
right, to arrest him.
Yeah, and it just threw
Right.
him.
Yeah, you know, 2 or 3 of them have gone.
Yeah,
And they're like, you better send some more.
Yeah.
You know, half an hour passes, you better send some more. You know, he's got his arms wrapped around this ramp post. And there's about 10 of them can't get him. And they eventually got him in the van and they said, jeez, he was like a tiger, wasn't he? Tiger
Right,
Freeman.
so that's how you get
So
That's
it.
got the names, yeah.
Paul Freeman's dad and there's 4 or 5 brothers, isn't there? 4 or 5 brothers. We need to get hold of them.
I think, as you said,
When
when
you
you
look-
that madness,
Yeah.
when you are a mixed race, when you mix any ingredients, you have to find a blend.
Yeah.
And because there was nobody, my mother couldn't talk to us about the Brazilian side of us, and my dad
Yeah.
couldn't talk to us about the English side
Yeah.
of us, and we were like at this, even in school. we
Yeah, you
was-
don't teach you no black history.
You don't
in school,
teach you
did they?
nothing,
Well, they
did it?
did then, I
So-
don't know what they do now, but they never done then.
And you even
No,
rebel
right.
against yourself, don't
Yeah,
you?
no,
Identity,
you're right.
That's the madness, isn't it?
Yeah,
I want to fit in, I want to be here, I want to be there, and then you find where you fit in as you get mature. It's like you said.
Well, our age group, Vance, there's no geeks our age group.
No,
full of.
definitely not.
Do you know what I mean?
What
There's
was your
nobody
dad's
giving a
first language?
PhD
No.
or whatever, is
No,
there?
What was your dad's
Portuguese.
first year? Portuguese.
Yeah, Portuguese.
No.
Dad could talk about 5 or 6 languages.
Right.
You know. He was well educated.
Yeah.
My dad had 18 sisters.
Yeah.
Jeez.
right? And
How many? But just him and 18 sisters.
and 18 sisters, yeah.
Wow.
And I think 17 of them, or a big portion of them, died from brain hemorrhage.
Oh,
My dad died from brain hemorrhage. Yeah, he had 18 sisters, man.
He's very polite and quiet.
Very.
Unless, of course, somebody was.
He could fight for
Yeah.
He wasn't, no.
He could pick up a black taxi.
Yeah, he was very strong, man.
Yeah.
Very strong. I even bump into older people sometimes, when I'm even taxi drivers, who knew about my dad back then, you know what I mean? They just talk absolute maximum respect for him all the time, you know what I mean?
Where my dad went hard and worked hard and gained that notoriety and that respect from all different divisions of life, like you have to do in your own life. He, as I said, was like a firejack, pointing him any direction, saying, "Get that car." He'd just go and get it. He wouldn't consider the consequence. He had no consequences.
No,
because he always fell on my dad's reputation to get him out of a fix.
You know what I mean?
I think the other thing with Robert was he was always a big lad.
Yeah.
But he was full of confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that
were. And I'm saying confidence as opposed to cocky. You were proud. You were confident. You know, you weren't afraid. You know, I'm not saying we were or whatever. I'm just saying if there's anything happening, you were always forefront.
It must have hurt your dad though.
Well, yeah, of course.
You know, if he's been all that kind of ambitious and wants everything to go right, and he's sending you to tap dancing and. Because I remember that, Robert. You know, when you're upsetting your dad, and you can't seem to stop.
It was only later on when I used to think like that. You know what I mean? Like time he'd come to Wolverhampton to pick me up from my mum's mum, where I'd run off from Rosehill. Yeah, escaped, you know. My mum used to meet me in Lewis's in town with a big bag of clothes and a few quid and send me to her mum's in Wolverhampton without telling me dad. Right? But then I'd end up getting in trouble over there. And then my dad had to come and get me and bring me back on the train. And he was very upright, you see, to me. He was dead, you know, suit, tie, trilby, suited and booted authority. Yeah. And I didn't realise about that until I was older, you know. I remember Mum and Dad buried in Southern Cemetery, and it took me a long time to grieve for him.
Yes.
Right? Because when I was in prison a long time, and then when I come out, I got involved in crap. Yeah. And I wouldn't go then because I thought it was respectful to go. So I only went after I packed all that crap in.
And pulled yourself together.
Yeah, and got my life back in order, you know, where it's rich in the right ways. And then I went and grieved, you know what I mean? And it was only then I started repairing myself fully. You know, I'd repair myself 3/4, but it was only then that I started repairing myself fully.
Yeah, he broke his character when my mother passed, because he was locked up. When my mother passed away, he broke his character, because nothing could break his character. He wasn't fearful of anything whatsoever, no matter what it was or how many amount. But when my mother died, and he was in a situation where he couldn't go and grieve with us, with my mother, it took him a long time, and then he just didn't care about himself.
And he had no empathy. You know what I mean?
For himself.
I'd watch it on television or recently get paper, and I'd just go by it, just bypass me. But now when I feel it. You know, if something happens to some person or a kid or anything, I feel it. You know what I'm saying? Whereas then I just let it get past me.
Why was that?
I think it's because I closed myself up. So anything what I thought could hurt me.
The time.
Yeah, I had to. I had to close myself up. That time. So when we can get through that kind of time.
Yeah, that's a scary one.
And it took me, because I had no direction when I first came out of prison. I think that's why I got involved in things I wouldn't normally got involved in. I just didn't have the right direction, you know what I mean? And then, you know, you have to just deal with your problems as they come in it.
Right. I need to just say something. Now I've got to go. I've got to do my father duties.
It's right, brother.
Is it that time already?
Well,
it's 2 o'clock by the time I get home.
I've
got to go to school. Right. So listen, Vance.
I'm going to stand up and give you a look, man.
I can't get up.
No.
Right, brother. Love and leave you. I'll be in touch soon. You come to the wedding, do you like?
Yes. Yeah, later. Thank you. Yeah. The camera.
See you soon.
Yeah, I'll see you soon. I go to Turkey in 2 weeks.
Right.
So listen, he's off on Monday. I'm not going to promise. I might come up for the day.
Right. Okay.
I might come up for the day.
I just need to use that toilet.
Vance.